This might just be uncomfortable for me. This might be challenging for me. Am I really going to do that? There's a decision that needs to be made somewhere, and we're sitting on the wrong side of that. P for imperfect. Why? Yes. So it creates alignment. It creates power. It creates momentum. It's such a positive word. Yes. What on earth has yes got to do with the men's personal development journey, and why is it important? I'm going to start with a little story which I always liked, and it's a story about when John Lennon met Yoko Ono, and first time he sort of came across her was at an exhibition that she had somewhere in central London, and he said that one of the pieces that he saw there was I've seen it, I saw it at the Tate Modern, was a set of step ladders. You climbed up the set of step ladders, and on a chain is a little magnifying glass, and then you looked through the magnifying glass and it was the word yes. And what's so nice about when John Lennon explains that is he said at that moment he got interested in Yoko Ono. He said because anyone can be negative, and he was fully expecting it just to be the word like no or fuck off or something like that, right? But it said yes. And he said that was such a positive word and such a positive piece of work that he instantly became interested in her. And I'm much the same, actually. I mean, I'm going to go off on one a little bit here because I think Yoko Ono has often been overlooked as an artist. I mean, it's hard to say, isn't it, because she's world famous. But I think her time with John Lennon affected how a lot of people perceived her as an artist. And I think she's probably, well, she's certainly my favourite living artist. Her exhibition was amazing, and for those reasons it's so positive. There's so much positivity in her work. In fact, as some of you know, I'm writing a manifesto for a project that I'm involved with, Masculinity X, and Grapefruit, her book Grapefruit, is probably one of the biggest influences on that book. I think she's fantastic. So if you dislike Yoko Ono, maybe reevaluate her a little bit, have a little look. She's great, and she is very positive, and that's why yes is so important, you know, because it opens up. When we say no, it closes possibilities, and that's okay, right? So I will come to the power of no in this also. But yes, it opens things up, right? It creates possibilities, right? It lets things in. So it's really important when we're going through a men's personal development journey to keep yeses at the front of our mind. There may be things that you will have to do. In fact, if you're doing a robust men's personal development journey, there will pretty much be things where you think, am I really going to do that? Do I really want to do that? I would say lean into yes. Lean into yes. Of course, there's going to be some things that are completely against your values or outside of your comfort zone. But even if they're outside of your comfort zone and you think it would be beneficial for you, or there might be something there that at least will not harm you, why not say yes? Why not say yes? So yes is a fundamental part of the journey. Saying yes to the things that may challenge you. Saying yes to new experiences. Because half the time when we say no, we're just giving in to fear. Of course, sometimes no is around boundaries, and no is really important, because as yes opens possibilities, no closes possibilities. And when we were talking before about like the power of decision making, if people, any of you follow my work, you will come across my theory that I think most of the painful things in our life, most of the discomfort and anxiety we feel in our life, is down to the fact that a decision has been made. There's a decision that needs to be made somewhere, and we're sitting on the wrong side of that. And that is where, when you make a decision, the Latin root of decision means die, to cut, and incision. So it literally means cut off all other possibilities. And that's what no means, right? So that's why if you have these two things in tandem, you're creating a really powerful momentum forward, and also a sense of clarity that keeps you going, it keeps you in alignment. Man once said to me, and I repeat it often to people, is say more no's to have better quality yeses, right? So that's also the power of yes. When I say yes, I've decided. So when I say yes to this, it means I'm saying no to that, right? I say yes to this, it means I'm saying no to everything that isn't that. So it creates alignment, it creates power, it creates momentum. It's such a positive word, yes. Most of the big changes we make in our lives are down to a yes. At some point, you said yes to your current partner or current partners, depending on how you are. You know, if you had a child, at some point you said yes to having this child, right? Sometimes we have less control than that, but if we opted in, it's usually with a yes, right? If you're involved in the men's personal development program, you said yes. If you're involved in the 12-step program, you said no to drinking, drugs, or gambling, or whatever your advice was, and you said yes to a fellowship, right? You see how these two things work in balance with each other, right? Yes, such a powerful word. No is such a powerful word. And we have to draw the line between the two, yeah? And we have to know what's below them. Are we saying no purely out of fear? Well, if we think that the answer is yes, then I would lean into yes. Don't let fear stop you. Now, obviously, there's sensible fear, right? There's the fear of, I'm not going to jump off that roof, right? So don't say yes to that because you're afraid, because that's a different form of fear, right? That's like common sense. But this might just be uncomfortable for me. This might be challenging for me. Why not say yes? Why not say yes? And even if you can't find a yes, don't say no. Ask for what you might need to be able to continue, right? So this is going to be a short one today, because it's just saying stay open. Use your yeses when it's going to move you forward, bring you joy, bring you a new experience, help you learn something. Just keep saying yes, lead into yes. And in your back pocket, have your better no's. No, no. Can you help me with this? Listen, if you don't have the time, say no. If you know it's one of these fool's errands that's just going to be a pain in the ass, just say no. And then have more room for yeses in your life. So I guess I'm just quoting what my old mentor used to say to me, which is, there were two things, right? There's, if it isn't a fuck yeah, it's a no, right? So maybe this could be called, say, fuck yes, right? If it's a fuck yes, then it's a yes, right? And if it isn't a fuck yes, then it's a no. And also learn to say no, to have better quality yeses. Don't say yes and don't follow through. Say yes and follow through. Remember all the stuff we talked about: accountability, integrity, keeping our word, keeping action, being trusted. All of these things, they come from when we say yes, we mean it. And when we say no, we mean it. Okay, so yes, this was P for imperfect. The word was yes. The letter was Y. Keep connected, keep doing the work, and I will see you soon for the very last episode. Yes, you lucky people. See you soon. Peace.